Some obeyed, others refused, all paid a price. Joining me now is Mary Holland, president of the Children's Health Defense, and been involved in the health freedom movement for a couple of decades. She previously served as CHC's general counsel overseeing litigation on vaccine mandates, exemptions, informed consent, free speech, and government regulation. There's a brand new movie out discussing this, Duty to Disobey. Duty to Disobey. Mary, good morning.
Morning, Steve.
Nice to see you again. Look, this is an important film because it reveals what happened to those who refused. Now, most of that, if not all of it's been overturned in subsequent years, but for years, these people were in limbo, out of work, out of a paycheck. A lot of them were short on hope, but they're back now because of the steady pushback by those who said, wait a second, you can't force people to take a jab they don't want. And it's an unlawful order, many would say. Mary, what are your thoughts?
Well, first, Steve, the film is going to be in theaters on June 30th, and people can sign up now to go to those theaters, dutytodisobeyfilm.org. And it truly is an extraordinary film about what happened in the military. So it was absolutely an unconstitutional order that forced people in the service to take an experimental jab. Although the order from Lloyd Austin, the Secretary of Defense, said, go get the Comirnaty shot, the Comirnaty FDA approved shot was not available in the country. They wanted to go through the experimental version, the EUA version, emergency use authorization version first, because they had a stockpile of that. And so literally people in service were being required to take something that was illegal. You cannot force people in the military to take an EUA shot. That had been determined in anthrax. And so 100,000 resisted, 100,000 during that time committed suicide. And yes, you're right that some people are being restored. Secretary of War Hegseth has said, we want you back. We want warriors of conscience. But in truth, as the film points out, there's really been no accountability for the institution yet. Like, why did they have unconstitutional illegal orders? And so many of the people who were discharged won't go back. They do want to have their records restored, but they feel like there hasn't been the kind of accountability or reckoning that needs to happen.
So what can we expect to see in this film? Like you said, it comes out June 30th. You can pre-register now and get a chance to see this movie. It's important. Look, these same Democrats that came out a few weeks ago targeting Donald Trump with this ambiguous claim of don't follow illegal orders, which of course he's not given. But we do know that illegal orders were given to the military during the COVID years, and this is just one example of that. So what can we expect to see in this film?
It's really an extraordinary documentary, Steve. So it interviews probably about 20 different people, many of whom disobeyed, some of whom took the shots and were catastrophically injured. The military runs on obeying orders. So nobody is saying that people in the military don't have to obey orders. They do. But they have a duty in the Code of Military Conduct to disobey an illegal or an unconstitutional order. And this one was black and white. It was illegal. It was very clear that you can't force people in the military to take something that's experimental. And the only thing that was available to them to follow that order was experimental. It wasn't what the order said. It wasn't Comirnaty. It was Pfizer BioNTech. And so there were plenty of people who said, no, I can't do it. Also, many of them, Steve, as you remember, all of those COVID shots used aborted fetal cell lines in their development. And many of these warriors of conscience simply could not do that based on their religious convictions. And one of the real problems during COVID, not only in the military, but in the civilian world, was they really didn't have an adequate religious accommodation procedure. And that's one of the calls to action from this film is we need that in the military as we need it in the civilian world. People cannot be forced in the United States to go against their conscience for something like this. There needs to be an accommodation.